Two, one. Hello, everyone. My name is Ben from Connecticut Local, and today we are here with Patrick. He runs Noank Payments, a small business consultant located close to New London, and he specializes in point of sale and e-commerce. Hey, Patrick, thank you for taking time out of your day to
How's
talk
it
with us on the
going? Happy
interview.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do?
So 4 years ago, I had a bar and a pizza restaurant at it was a Navy bar, essentially. It was down
Mm-hmm.
by the floodgates. And we noticed trends that were not conducive to us being successful in that. The
Mm-hmm.
less Navy kids were coming over. So I had a friend who introduced me into the payments business, which is quite a wormhole. And so there's a lot to learn. It's like kind of like what they say about poker. Like you can learn it very
Mm-hmm.
quickly, but it takes a lifetime to
Mm-hmm.
master.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up selling. Me and my wife ended up selling the businesses, and I started Noank Payments more as a knock on doors and help people in their small businesses with either like funding
Mm-hmm.
or terminals. And then I went to an acquirers meeting. That's what you're called in this industry. We acquire business. So we
Mm-hmm.
have a book of business and we acquire business.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a large meeting, Northeast acquirers meeting up in Boston, Copley
Mm-hmm.
Square, and I made some connections. The
Mm-hmm.
connections that accelerated my business from 1 year in where I would be 2 years in.
All
So,
right.
but I smoothed with a lot of people up there, and it just changed. And I don't work for anybody. I have partners now.
Mm-hmm.
We, depending on what type of merchant, if it's restaurant, if it's quick service, if it's just e-commerce online, if it's nutraceutical, if it's dispensary, I run the
Mm-hmm.
full gamut. So,
Awesome. And yeah, so what are the areas that you serve?
so locally, or you mean the type of verticals?
Both.
Yeah. Okay. So I try to stay because I used to do a lot of restaurants because I owned a restaurant, we owned a bar. So I stuck to those
Mm-hmm.
type of things because I could talk that talk. COVID hits, and between the local and state guidelines, those two type of businesses really struggled because they couldn't really plan. They didn't know, could they open? Is it mask? 50% capacity? Do I have to have outside seating? You know, so those two type of things I really pivot away from.
Mm-hmm.
And I started going into like things that were COVID proof, if anything is, and things that are definitely Amazon proof, because with the rise of COVID, the rise of e-commerce and the
Mm-hmm.
giant over,
Yeah.
especially Amazon. So so maybe before I would walk into like a retail store that sold jerseys,
Mm-hmm.
Manchester United jerseys or something.
Mm-hmm.
Those type of jerseys now can be bought very cheaply online.
Yeah.
So my value add to that business probably not as good as say walking into a pizza place, which during COVID they could reduce their staff and go to takeout only, and most of them turned out to be more profitable than they were pre-COVID. They
Yeah.
streamlined their production, they streamlined their marketing. They went to more contactless payments. They would take phone orders. They would take e-commerce. They would get into third-party apps, and most of them are done very well since then. So I try to stick to things that are COVID-free or
Mm-hmm.
COVID-proof, say, and Amazon-proof.
All right.
So
Yeah. And what was it exactly that made you want to start this business and not something else instead?
I think it was that I was 47 without a real job at that point because I'd been
Mm-hmm.
an entrepreneur my whole life. I don't think I've been a W-2 employee for
Mm-hmm.
20 years, 25 years maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I had a gentleman who was he set up my point of sale at the business. He actually was a master chief at the sub base, which is right across from my bar, and he taught me the ropes. He got me involved. And the strange thing about it is the man who runs the whole ISO that I work for went to my high school. Even though he's from in Jacksonville for the last 20 years, he happened
Mm-hmm.
to go to Fitch Senior High. He was a Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like a little kismet, to be honest with you, a little, it just happened to pop, and then it just accelerated quickly. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then what have been some of your biggest struggles along your entrepreneurial journey, and what lessons did you learn from them?
I would say the biggest struggle is when you're talking to people, you find that the marketing that they trust tends to be a lot of Facebook marketing, Google marketing, the bots that chase them around the internet. But all those bots are designed to learn their preferences and tastes in search history,
Mm-hmm.
because they buy that stuff from Square sells it. Like Toast, another big one, they buy and sell it. They sell information like it's currency. And having, like, when you walk into a place and you're selling a product that is vastly superior, but not marketed to the point where it has
Mm-hmm.
the brand recognition. So in other words, yeah, I'd have to learn. It gets to the point where I'm not really selling a product. I'm selling me.
Yeah.
I'm selling cost factor, and then I will I'll show them results 100%, but they have to believe in me. So in the beginning, I was just trying to sell a product, and it's not really the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
have to add a value. You have to add a value. You can't walk into a place and say, "Oh, I can make things cheaper." That's not enough. You have to incorporate technology. You have to incorporate, instead of giving them, say, a terminal that's a little bit cheaper, you give them a smart terminal that has apps where they could streamline their whole business model, their protocols. You give them gift cards, random, so that they can compete with Amazon.
Yeah.
Things like that. You get them omni-channel. So instead of just selling that pizza, they can now sell it online, and they don't have to give 30% of their revenue per order to Grubhub.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. There's other ways of doing it. You just have to educate people. It's what you do. You build up trust, and then you educate them on vastly superior options. But
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And if you were to start over, what would you do? What would you do differently?
I would start this right out of UConn, probably. I probably would start this when I was 21.
Yeah, 21.
Just learning it. Yeah, because you're going to spend a year or two, especially if you're not financially stable, which I was, because we had, I'm a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not financially stable and you can't, you have to have a little bit of money, because you're going to be out there and you're going to hear a lot of no's in the beginning. And the reason is because you don't know what you're doing. You just don't, and you learn by failure, essentially. It's like baseball, you get a hit every
Definitely.
3 out of 10, you're doing well,
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. You have to be a little bit thick-skinned.
Yeah.
You have to come off as honest. And the easy way to come off as honest is being honest,
Yeah.
So be yourself. Don't act pitchy. Don't,
Mm-hmm.
listen to this is the thing. If anyone's out there is trying to do what I do, listen to what the other person's saying. They'll tell you what the problem is. And then once they identify their problem, you find the solution. It's really that simple.
Yeah. It really is that simple, listening to the other person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the challenges that you got from COVID, or how has it impacted your business?
Well, my book of business when COVID hit was 90% restaurants and bars. So what I did is those bars were essentially all shut down. Like I have one street in New London, which has 6 of my businesses all in a row, and they're all shut down. During for large portions of time, so maybe 6 months. So what I did is I pivoted from trying to sell services to try to helping people. So I would get in with like the federal programs for the loans, the PPPs, or there's a lot of the EDL, the other one. I mean, you get in with the government loans, and then you just try to educate people, and then you try to explain to these people this is time to reset, to streamline the stuff, to cut all the fat, and find a new approach to the new world. Because I mean, even when the COVID's over, it's not going back to the way it was. Like if you don't have e-commerce, if you don't take orders online, you're gonna have a hard time. Like say as a pizza place,
Yeah.
then this is a way for the owners to go back to learn the kitchen routines, learn how to make that pizza when you didn't know how to before. Little things like that, because then you could see the inefficiencies. And once you find those little efficiencies, so say that inefficiency that when you do a like a self check, say you get a 10%, 15% decrease in inefficiency. That's like getting a 10, 15% raise, in revenue. It's the same thing. So that's what I pivoted to, helping people. And it works.
And helping them go online and shift a little bit from just offline to go online, right? And with the payment processing.
Yeah, especially retail. Yeah. And people think it's two different things. It's not. You can really, the software now is set up, and I'm not talking about Shopify. I'm talking about things like Shopify, though, where you sell it in your store, but you sell it online too. So you have, different paths to the same thing. And it's no more effort. It's just takes a little time to embrace technology, which is scary. That's scary for people.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, the Zoom thing is something else. If it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't understand the Zoom.
Yeah. So many people didn't even know that Zoom existed before COVID, but many people got used to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, my kids, he's in the second grade now. So when he was out doing almost a whole year, 8 months, he was out doing he'd have to Zoom. You have to check in through Zoom every day. So this was a way that he kept up with his schoolwork, with his teachers, kind of, the face-to-face contact as much as this is. It's important still. I can look at you and we can talk. Better than writing an email. So, and you'd have to teach that to the merchants too. It's just it became more of an educator, more of a big brother.
Okay, and the next question is, if a customer was to choose between you and like 3 consultants just like it, what would make you different and stand out and unique? And why would they have to give you a try at least first?
This is an easy one. Okay, so I spent all that downtime we had with COVID. I went and strengthened my relationships with ISOs. When ISO was like the supplier of the service, and the supplier has contacts with the hardware people. So right now, say you were a pizza place, I could give you a full point of sale system, omni-channel and online, and essentially all the credit card processing, everything for free. I could just set it up that way with free gift cards. We do your menus, we do everything, and it's because of the relationships I built. And it's not just with them; it could be any liquor stores. There's a whole list of things that I can help out with. But the thing is, I have all this experience and I live locally, so I want to be able to show my face in the in the community. So what's going to happen is I attach my success to your success. You know what I mean? We don't structure it so I make money and if you don't, then I don't make money. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
it makes sense.
Yes, how that new commercial is. We're a fiduciary. So yeah, I'm local, I'm trustworthy. I know what I'm talking about, and I broker the best, whatever it is that you do, I can broker you the best deal.
Well, that's awesome.
That's a fact though. That's not just me talking. That's a fact.
Yeah. Well, we are already going to the final question, and that's what is your vision if you had to look 6 to 12 months into the future? Where would you like to see your business be?
More automated, which I've started that process right now. A little more automated on lead generation, but I would like to really hire go-getter salesmen to teach them what I do to start building their business now, because my business is about residuals, which is essentially you push that into your retirement. So it's what my kids are going to have. You know what I'm saying? So I work for today, but mostly I work for tomorrow. And I would like to teach go-getters. You have to be a go-getter. You have to be able to walk in and talk to people. Yeah. To me, it's not hard. You go in, you tell that, you say, I'm a local businessman. I'd like to say hello. I drive by here all the time. Then you listen to them. A lot of people don't like that, but I would like to have people underneath me that I could train and we could all, go together. So it's a team.
Mhm.
So,
All right. Well, that's an
that's what-
awesome vision for the coming year.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, this
Yeah,
this already was the interview. Thank you for coming on today and taking time out of your day to come with talk with us. And yeah, I wish you a great day and a wonderful week.
I appreciate it. Everyone have a great holiday.
Yes. Bye bye.
Thank you.